That's what they said about Biden.
Aaron, it helps if you plug it in. I can hear now really well. So I'm thinking I can't hear anything in my ears. Well, they weren't plugged in, so I can hear everything now. Live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, July 22nd, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. A little bit to talk about. It's not,
Yeah, it's a slow news cycle.
Not the craziest news cycle that I think maybe in political history continues on here. We'll get to all of that. Rick Delgado's going to do some news. He's here. I just realized we didn't do a What Even Is That on Friday.
No, we didn't.
When's the next What Even Is That?
It's coming this week, believe it or not. I thought about it, actually having it for tonight, but I knew that would be crazy. We have too much going on.
Yeah.
And, there's just, but I've got something. Something. That was for Erin. She knows what I'll do.
Oh, okay. All right, a little inside joke. Gotcha. Okay. All right, very good.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Very good. So what's the topic of your What Even Is That?
I haven't given it a name yet.
Oh, or do you want me to name it?
No. I've got it.
That was quick.
I have the theme. The theme has to do with something that's pertinent in current politics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
It'll be a particular interest.
What could that be?
It will be a particular interest to you. As a matter of fact.
Oh, okay, very good.
Because you're very locked in on this particular topic.
Okay, there's many topics I'm very locked into, so we'll see what that is. That's hopefully coming Friday. Slick's going to do some sports. I believe he'll be here. He's got his meeting tonight, so he'll be here after that. He'll do some sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down. The Bitcoin Baron is here as well. David Zier. Mr. Zier, how are you? How was your weekend?
Bitcoin's up to 68,000. The person who took over my life on Facebook and Instagram is enjoying reaching out to all my friends and relatives who are complaining to me that I'm selling them Bitcoin and soliciting them.
I'm not complaining because you're
I'm up 15% apparently.
Yeah, the Wilkins family's enjoying a new truck thanks to you. I mean, I'm all in.
Yeah, it's not me.
And now we realize he's actually posting political things to make it look like he's still.
Yeah, they posted Biden's resignation letter or whatever today. So I can't.
Yeah.
So when I'm on Facebook, legitimately, they shut me down every 6 weeks because of content and community standards violations, apparently. But then when somebody hacks my account and takes over my life, I can't get them to cancel my account. So something's wrong.
Yeah. The latest post here is really good. A lot of interaction. People are
read it.
They're putting in pictures and they're complaining about Harris. He's dead on. He's better than you. He's better being you than you are.
Real Dave.
Yeah. All right, very good. Lots to get into. We'll do some news with both gentlemen here. Slick will do some sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. I can't remember ever living through a time where days seem like weeks seem like months seem like years. I mean, it's just, when you think back, I said this when we came back after the president's the assassination attempt. I said, I can't believe we were on the air Friday. Now it's Monday. It feels like 3 weeks of stuff happened in 48 hours, and now I feel like that again. I just feel like all of this news cycle is the absolute craziest thing that I can ever remember. And let me just start the show by saying this. I can also, and I certainly could be wrong, wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time today. I cannot remember ever going Wednesday. Effectively, I'll count half of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So let's call it 5.5 days without seeing the President of the United States.
Yeah.
In some form. Even when the president is on vacation, you see him at the beach, you see people around him, or you see photos of him, or you see something. And this recording, I'll play it for you.
Did you say recording?
Oh. Oops. This phone call. Hey, Joe, we're glad you're on the Rick. I don't know. It just doesn't do it. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't do it for me. Sounds like a hostage tape, number one. Even if it is him, it sounds like a hostage tape. But number two, it just sounds, I don't know. I'll play it for you, but where is the President of the United States?
It's fishy, especially with something like this. This is seismic. And you're telling me that he can't muster, he can't flip on his little his little Zoom thing that he's got there at the house and address the nation very quickly?
And did he have an episode in Vegas, right? Did something happen to him?
Well, Charlie Kirk's got a thread out today that everybody's cut. Well, not everybody on the right's covered. Tucker talked about it with Jack Posobiec, who just appeared on Tucker's show today. I saw a little bit of that. That was released this afternoon. And I mean, Charlie's. I don't find Charlie to be a. Well, I don't know what the right word here is. You know what I mean? But he's not like a whack job at all. He's not. I don't think he's even a conspiracy theorist. I don't think he's any of those things.
He's not.
He's not out there trying to peddle the nonsense for clicks. I don't. Not at all.
I shouldn't send him a Team Chemtrails T-shirt.
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. But he has a thread about, and backed up, by the way, with friends that he says people he knows out there that have sent him emails. He's posted a couple of them. That's very concerning. Now, we did see the president walk very gingerly off the plane when it arrived back. I guess that was in Delaware. Mm-hmm. After the supposed turnaround from what Charlie reports is that it was on the way to a hospital in Vegas, and then they gave a stand-down order, turned around, flew him back to Delaware. They say they got there in about 3 hours. They said this thing was hauling. Air Force One was moving to be able to get from Vegas to Delaware in about 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is part of his thread tonight that he's put out. But I just can't remember a time. I mean, maybe somebody can tell me, people who are older than me. I mean, and I wasn't into, I guess my first, 14 years of life, I probably wasn't into it as much. But can anyone remember going 5.5 days without seeing the President of the United States? No. Without hearing from the President of the United States? Without seeing a still photo of the President of the United States? With barely hearing from his top advisors, from the people around? I mean, put all of the partisan stuff aside and Joe Biden and how we feel about him. He's the President of the United States. This government works. People around him are still the people around him. There's still a chain of command. There's still people who report every day. He's still got the same people around him in his highest ranking people. Nobody's got a picture. Nobody's got anything. The only thing we've seen is from the guy who supposedly wrote the speech, wrote the resignation letter that just shows up on X on Sunday.
Yeah.
No official White House lettering.
No seal. A
signature that's clearly not the same as everything else he signed. Clearly not the same. I mean, this is not even, you don't have to be on Team Chemtrails to come up with that one. It's not the same. You look at it side by side. It's not the same signature.
No, and you know what? I understand that. And I was looking at they had a photo online. I forgot where. I think it was somewhere on X. I saw where they had all these other depictions of his signature, and I was like, well, these are all copies because they were too perfectly lined up. And I'll try and find it and I'll repost it. And then you see the one that's supposedly from him on Sunday. It's like, I could see somebody struggling whose facilities don't work, their signature changing over time. I could see that. That is actually, the one on Sunday is more believable than the 5 previous ones that are just perfect in their alignment, in the way the letters are structured, in the way the letters are spaced. I think those are the fake ones. This is an actual real one.
Could be.
Though I don't know if it's his real one.
But the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. It just like the Trump assassination and we'll get to that later today. If Kimberly Cheadle came and interviewed for a job at Roosevelt Field Mall, riding one of those things around that the security rides, I wouldn't hire her for that. That's how appalling she was today. But we'll get to that a little later. But where is the President of the United States? Is the President, is he alive? Number one. Is he, now his doctor puts out a letter today saying that he has now received his 10th dosage of Paxlovid.
10.
Yes, and says his symptoms are resolving themselves. 10th I saw Daniel Horowitz said, if this guy's gotten 10 doses of Paxlovid, Kamala might get sworn in sooner than we think.
Wow.
Just from the medicine alone. But the point being, if they've resolved himself and he was good enough to supposedly call in today to Harris headquarters, weird saying that, how is it that we haven't even seen a still photo of him? We have seen no video? Benjamin Netanyahu's today. Nobody's there to welcome him.
Nobody's there. And he was there when Biden went. He was on the ground, Netanyahu, when Biden went to Israel.
Now, my question is, why did he even show up if nobody's going to be meeting with him?
And Harris wasn't there either?
Well, he's called him. He's actually made a plea to meet with Trump while he's here.
Might as well.
I think that's why Israel feels free to ramp up their operations in the Middle East, knowing that there's going to be an administration change.
So here's a little bit of the call today. We don't even have to put the video up. We can just put the audio up. Here is supposedly the call.
Biden calling into this
Joe
campaign
Biden
event.
called into Kamala Harris's.
Keep me out of people's hair for the next 3 or 4 days, but I'm going to be on the road, and I'm not going anywhere. It's kept me away a little bit, but I want people to remember that what we have done has been incredible, and we get so much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to Kamala if she can hear me. I know she's going to be speaking shortly. And I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news was surprising and it's hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked, how many sacrifices you made. And so many of you uprooted your lives for me, and the kind of commitment few people make for anything these days, but you made it. And I've been honored and humbled. I mean this is from the bottom of my heart. My word is a Biden, that for all you've done for me and my family. And we built the best campaign in organization in history. I've been doing this, I always kid and say, I know I'm only 40, but I've been around a long time. I don't know of a better campaign organization, grassroots campaign. We have over 230 offices opened. We have over 2,000 paid staff, and we have literally several thousand volunteers on a regular basis, thousands of them. And they've been relentless and tireless in reaching out and contacting voters. The leadership of this campaign has been amazing. Jen O'Malley Dillon, Julie Quinn, Michael Tyler, Rob Flaherty, Rufus on raising money, and so many more. You built this team. You brought them together. You brought us together. All
right, we'll pause it there. We'll take the commercial break, and then we'll come back, finish it, and talk about it. Man, he rolled off those names like no problem.
Most lucid I think I've heard him in years.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Because you type it in.
On my word is a Biden. That's the one that I said, oh, this could be possibly really him.
You could type it in.
Who's stupid enough to say that? That's a thing, He says such things. It's hard to think that could even be recreated to sound that stupid. On my word is a Biden. When I swear to God, I was in the car when I heard that line. I was like, oh, man, that's probably him. That was the line.
Yeah, but the way he rattled off those names.
I'm sure he had a piece of paper in front of him.
Yeah,
even with a piece of paper, even with things written for him, he struggles to complete
really
them
big
properly.
Piece of paper.
Really big font.
Do you think there were a lot of since they didn't do the videos because it was recorded and they had to chop it all together? So now when you put it together, you take out all those screw-ups, and it can sound...
I don't know. It's probably him, but it just...
No, I'm saying it's probably him, but they had to record it. Maybe that took an hour to do, and then they have to go back and cut it all up. And
Yeah, that's not him off the cuff.
No. He started sounding like some boy band,
Like
Bobby, Ricky and Mike or whatever.
Like the Magic Garden
or something.
The Magic Garden. I see Bobby and Ricky and Tommy and yes, I'm still learning this laptop, which I'm not happy about.
Then why'd you get it?
Well, you've had it for a whole, 3 hours?
Yeah, if you touch the top, the volume controls turn on.
So don't touch the top.
It's touch. It's not like you have to press it. That's not good. That's why the sound kept coming on. Shit. Sure.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The leprechaun is here, and he's complaining already.
What's up, YouTubers?
You're missing his hat.
I thought I see that stock with grape.
Oh, it's a good one. You thought about that one all weekend.
He even posted that.
He got together with the...
Why don't I have the YouTube chat on here?
I don't know. Maybe you should ask the guy who runs your
have to
Facebook.
open up the chat or click on the
Yeah, the
chat.
I
conversation.
usually don't, but what do I have to do from at this point?
What?
You have a conversation about
Go down a little bit.
Can't.
Go up. Then. Go up. Up or down.
Cold plate of weasel.
Oh, you're... All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Glad you're in. David Zier's going to do some news. Delgado will do some news as well. Slickster's in the house. Yellow.
Yellow.
Green.
There you go, buddy.
Slickster's here. How was your meeting?
Fantastic. Good meeting. Yeah, I've run a little bit late. I'm sorry. On Monday nights, I have a networking meeting.
Well, we know that. Slick, we love you no matter what, so
Okay,
don't you worry about it. How was your weekend?
He's
It
really
was fantastic. I was reveling in our victory.
No,
Although
you don't... Well,
Weaselology 101 over here. I know.
See,
Go ahead.
and I didn't say anything yet. I was waiting for you to get here so we can enjoy it.
I point you all to my official statement made on the matter.
Okay.
Yeah, she
It's
made
on
it
the official
official.
LFS6B Twitter. That is official. Nothing you hear from anyone else is official.
Weasel.
The official sorry?
Weaselology.
You smell that?
Weaselology.
No, there's no weaselology.
Yes.
Do you smell
How is there weaselology?
My bet was always they're not running that guy. They're not running
Right,
that.
exactly. They're not running that guy.
And they are not.
He
You don't
decided not to run himself.
Baloney, he decided. Are you kidding me?
decide.
That guy got pistol whipped over the weekend. Are you for real?
What are you talking about?
Joe decided I'm not going to run. A guy that was vehemently saying Friday, I'm running. Are you kidding me?
Did you see his letter that he put out on X?
Please. Come on, old man. Come on.
What are you
Who wrote
talking
that
about?
letter, Obama?
You know what?
Your guy's position
Not your guy.
was that they were going to take him out after the convention.
No.
My position was they're not running that guy. That's all I can say.
position-
the key word there is there,
Oh,
referring
there. Okay,
to other
play on.
people.
The position has always been
No.
Joe Biden will not be the nominee. At some point, they will replace him.
Thank you.
Either before or after the convention. It doesn't matter.
Correct.
You tried to give it a timeline. I said you can't do
No,
that.
but you're both using the same
And
language.
what
The
you're
key word
saying-
in all this, David Zier will back me up, is
and what
there.
you're saying is that
will not.
Joe Biden has elected to, under his own cognitive
Yes.
decision-making process.
Well, that's a stretch right
was,
there.
That was very deliberate.
That doesn't give you a
that
win.
He came up with, I'm going to step down. The most narcissistic man in the world, known as President Joe Biden, that's up for debate,
Right.
decided that even though he's smarter than everybody, he knows more than everybody, he doesn't even know the black guy's name anymore, that he decided that this was the time he was going to, for the good of the country and the good of the party, because he still believes that Donald Trump is a threat to the community and to the nation, which is inflammatory and egregious.
I mean, Delgado just made the case that it was his signature.
What you're
Look
saying,
at this chat. Damon lost. Everybody's on you.
What
David.
you're
Come on.
saying is that you don't enjoy our smell of victory. You smell that?
Right.
There's no
That's
smell
the
of victory.
Smell of victory.
Come on.
Again, I'll just leave it at this. I'm going to act like the Secret Service director. I don't have enough information for you guys tonight. I'll just point you to my official
Look,
Point you to my official
bottom
statement.
Sounds
line
about
is
right.
bottom line is Slick. Winners win.
Winners win.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, too.
We win?
Delgado. Good call.
Now-
and David
now-
Zier was on
now,
that bandwagon,
let me also
too.
say-
Unless he waffled over the weekend. No, you were on
No, he
with
was,
us.
he was,
I-
he was
I-
on the train.
He was firmly in your camp.
Yeah, he
chemtrail.
was
Well,
in the hot tub
He
part
was
of
in
the,
the camp
the
that
train.
also that they are going to push him out. So all
And they
three of you
pushed him
lost.
out.
I've been.
They did push him
I
out.
felt for several years that he wasn't going to be the nominee. But after the Robert Hur thing, when they said he wasn't fit to stand trial, I knew the fix was in to get rid of him. But I will take it one step further. I don't think Michelle Obama's out of the picture yet, either
No,
for
me either.
president or
100%
VP.
not.
Of course not.
She's in.
Right? So,
They're not,
Though-
they're not running Kamala either. Trust me, they're not running that. They're
Though
not running
I did throw
that
out
word
there the
salad.
power move by Hillary Clinton, by her being the first one to come out and support Kamala,
yeah.
because she wants in on that ticket.
Yeah, and supposedly Kamala raised, I don't know if I believe
Now-
it, $81 million in the last day.
I don't know about you, Damon, but I believe my cohorts here are
Book tickets to
unburdened by
Vegas?
the fact that another theory has come true. We're unburdened by the thought of welching on a bet, and we are unburdened by losing to you.
Yeah.
And you did, and I'm
And
sorry
John
that
Solomon,
you guys did.
you can text me, and yes, you're still welcome on board the train.
I mean, you got listen. I'm happy for you guys to take this position. It makes you feel good. You're excited. You're energized. I like it, but you're just living in another
Well,
Right.
let me,
reality.
So,
you didn't win anything.
So what do you
Can
think?
you define a woman
What
right
do you
now?
think
Yes or no?
actually happened then? It doesn't matter what you think. How about that? Because you lost.
All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and My Pillow LFS. Someone said they started a GoFundMe page for me for you guys' trip to
For
the
the
Sphere.
Oh, forget it.
Which
Yeah.
we don't need because they didn't win a trip to the Sphere. And I just point you to my official statement on the official LFS6B Twitter.
Right.
So you can go there. So
Well, truth be told, we're still holding out for the trip to the Rav Open. You know, we're waiting on that big D.
okay. LFS6B is the
Moving
code.
along.
We're still waiting on a live show somewhere.
Are you kidding me? How about a trip to Woody's? Everybody is in the chat is saying.
Yeah, we'll get stiffed on that too, I'm sure.
I'll drive.
Let's do some sports.
Yeah.
Sports is brought.
Rick will catch.
LFS6B is the code. Sixter!
All right, come on. Let's get to the scoreboard. Why not? I mean, there's nothing that more important going on than sports in the world right now. Come on, everybody's focused on sports. Here we go. Major League Baseball. The Tigers right now topping the Guardians 6-1, end of 6, top of the 6. The Mets over the Marlins 5-2. The Pirates and Cards tied at 1, bottom 6, top 5. Cincinnati Reds. Oh my God, lost 4 in a row, but they're beating the Braves right now 3-0. Phillies and Twins, no score. They're in a rain delay. We have White Sox and Rangers. White Sox leading that game 1-0, bottom 1. End of 1, just underway. Brewers and Cubbies, no score in Wrigley. We have the Diamondbacks in Kansas City taking on the Royals, no score there. End of 1. Earlier today, the Yankees bombed the Tampa Rays in the Bronx. They must have had a matinee game today, Rick. 9-1, big win there for the Yanks. Red Sox and Rockies coming up at 8:40.
Bless you.
Angels and Mariners 9:40. Astros and Athletics 9:40 as well. And Giants taking on the Dodgers in the nightcap in LA 10:10. First pitch. Let's wiggle over to a couple of stories. What do we got tonight? Aaron Rodgers. Here we go. This is it. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Politics is a sham. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Yeah, see, he was going to run. Wasn't he going to run with RFK? He was
Yes.
talking about
Yeah.
that. They were on the trails together in the Himalayas, wherever they were hiking.
The
Dylan Gwynn of
foothills.
Breitbart. Yeah. New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers lambasted the entire American political scene as a sham during a podcast interview earlier this month. Rodgers, an outspoken critic of government policies about the coronavirus vaccine and public supporter of independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., made the comments on the Pardon My Take podcast after a PFT commentator joked about Rodgers' golfing ability, saying his shots go far to the right like his politics. Rodgers took the bait and ran with it. Politics, I've said from the beginning, is an absolute sham, Rodgers asserted. And if we've seen anything, whether what they did to Bernie Sanders in 2016, what we saw in the John Podesta emails, or the fact that nothing really ever changes, all they talk about is what they are going to do, and then life doesn't actually get better for any of us, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, and we're still doing the same bleeping two-party system, not letting Bobby get in or anybody else. The Jets QB took particular exception to the exclusion of third-party candidates such as RFK Jr. We have Bobby, who doesn't even get a chance to be in the debates. If you knew the insides of how ridiculous it is for a third-party candidate to get on the ballots in 50 states, it's a bleeping sham. Rodgers said it's certain colors in some states. There are certain people you got to submit to submit to it in other states. It's a certain amount of votes in certain states. It's a bleeping joke. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was excluded from the first debate after failing to meet the participation requirements, amongst other things. I'm ad-libbing. RFK Jr. did, however, attempt to include Rodgers on the independent ticket as his VP, but he ultimately decided to stick with football because the Jets, nothing's going to change with them either as far as government goes and as far as the Jets go. So what the hell's the damn difference, Rodgers? Just get back in, go with RFK, and run for your life. That's all I could say. So, okay, I can tell you, Big D. That's our buddy Aaron Rodgers there, getting ready for the football season, throwing his hat in the ring.
Looks like
RFK.
he's really focused on football.
Yeah.
Aaron, how do you feel about that story?
Aaron, well, you know what his Achilles heel is? No, I'm not kidding. Anyway, yeah, that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
Hi, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. New week getting started. We'll do some news with Rick Delgado and David Zier. The Bitcoin Baron coming up with news right after this.
High wing or low?
Looked like a low
It
wing.
was a bye wing.
Yeah, actually, the
was a Red Baron.
plane was literally on the ground.
Crazy.
It's probably a Cessna 310.
When did that happen?
About an hour ago.
I saw it on.
Yeah, about 2
Wow.
hours ago. Yeah, somebody told, and it's funny. I'm not funny. I just drove by. I saw, News 12 is there. They roll out. If it leaves,
We had
it leaves.
a twin-engine Cessna 310 came right over the railroad tracks. I was riding the bike with my friends, and all five of us spent 4 years in the Air Force Auxiliary after that, doing search and rescue for missing civilian aircraft.
I'm sad to hear people died from this. That's a shame.
Wow.
You haven't learned.
I never shake him. I don't know why.
Well, what happened to the Get It, Chad? It's like
It just happened at 6 o'clock.
I was going to say, because it's like a dead chat. It's like
They
2,000
reset the stream after we started?
Yeah, we're about 5 minutes into the show and they just swapped it.
Yeah, they gave up on that, I think.
They're coming back in, though.
Pilot passenger injured.
Amy Ames on YouTube. Hello. Hello, everybody.
They didn't die.
Okay, David Zier, maybe you got a better source than I do, but I'm going to tell you right now.
I only see the
Sources say two people were killed when an aircraft crashed.
Wow.
So
If you're on YouTube or wherever you're watching, make sure you
This
hit the
was in
thumbs up,
Newsday.
please. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel.
I don't read Newsday. I just pulled up the headline.
Let's go to YouTube and see what we got
That's
here.
a different plane. That's a plane crash from like 3 years ago.
157 likes, 700 watching. That's well, I would have chose a nicer term than pathetic, Slick, but yes, that's close to pathetic.
Maybe they died
Hit the thumbs
later.
up, please, if you're watching. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything just to hit the thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Same thing if you're on X. Make sure you subscribe to our X. Very active on X.
I take my bird out to the forest. He gets 80,000 views in one day.
I think Damon's favorite CEO is GE. Of GE is Jack Welch.
Yes. Well, Damon's a Welshman. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I love Jack Welch.
So, Slick, there's another story, News 12, happening
News
from
12?
7:08. 2 injured in plane crash.
Oh, okay.
But then I see the other ones that say fatal.
33 minutes.
Terry
Yeah,
on
he
YouTube,
died.
hello.
Sadly. Doesn't matter
Bum, bum, bum,
on
bum,
a
bum.
national show.
Let's have the RAV open in Vegas, Buzzard said. That's a good idea. All right, right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Slickster's in. David Zier is going to do some news as well. But right now, let's start with some news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by 7Cells, 7cells.com. Delgado, what's going on?
A lot going on in the chat, talking about our most recent conversation regarding what happened over the weekend and your response. Well, we appreciate that. As a matter of fact,
What?
I believe cut number 2 here kind of encompasses, really, what Damon was going through when he heard the news on Sunday. But this is actually Biden-Harris campaign co-chair Chris Coons coming on to talk about what's going on.
There was no tears for me.
This is cut number 2. Aaron, go.
Joe Biden is grounded. He's grounded in his faith, in his family, and in our state.
Okay, Damon.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. This was a very difficult decision.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Wasn't it?
Phony.
The guy's broken up. Come on.
Yeah, real broken up.
I was not broken up. I was not crying. I made an official video statement and put it on X,
Of course you did.
taking my position and explaining why my position is the right one.
Right.
And people had their say.
Loved it.
People had their say.
The views on it are tremendous.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, we'll have to go through some of those responses. As a matter of fact, Vivek
And I was
Ramaswamy-
fair, by the way. I got a lot of responses with people like putting my face on the sphere or putting your guy's face on the sphere. Real Prince doll did a nice. I posted those, as hurtful as they were.
Yep, it's neither
I'm a man.
yeah, this neither sphere nor there.
I'm a man of the people. I share things even if
Oh, of course you do.
It's hurtful.
As a matter of fact, speaking of sharing, Vivek Ramaswamy had a moment where he shared a message to Democrats some months ago regarding this exact situation that happened over the weekend. We dug it out. Check this out. This is cut number 3. Vivek's message to the Democrats. He sounds like a prophet here.
I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just
Mr.
tell us the
Ramaswamy,
truth so we can have an
your
honest
time is
debate.
up. Ambassador.
By the way, that only looks like at the time a tough position to take because of the media and because they're all liars.
Yeah.
And they all lied about this to you and to their voters, more importantly. If you're a Democrat primary voter, I tell you, I don't know how you feel today. I know they're going to flip the script here. I see it all happening already. Kamala Harris it's great, and how she's going to be a generational candidate, and you can't, they're going to already set up. If you say anything about her, you're either a sexist, you're a racist, you're a misogynist. They've got all that lined up. Folks, remember this: they have had an opportunity to show how much they think she's a transformational candidate. They had it in 2020, they had it in 2024, they had it in 2016. I have as many pledged won delegates as she has in her history of running, and I've never run for anything. We have the same amount of delegates won, me and her. She polled at skim milk the entire time she ran, every time she ran. Yeah. She couldn't make it to Iowa. She is not a transformational figure. She's worse than Joe Biden. She's worse on policy than Joe Biden. And nobody in the Democrat Party thinks that she's their best candidate. No one. And if she's polling like Joe Biden before the convention, I don't suspect that she'll be the nominee. I don't care how many people endorse her. Obamas have not endorsed her. That's the only one that matters. Because if you're the first female vice president, how long can you go without the first black president endorsing the first black female vice president who wants to now be the nominee to be the first female president? He has not endorsed her. And I don't suspect he's going to. Because he knows in his heart, because he may be a lot of things, but he's not stupid, that she's got about as much chance of winning, maybe a little better, than Joe. Especially if she picks like Josh Shapiro or somebody from a swing state, makes it a little more difficult. But this is why the Republicans need to put all the noise aside, and they need to run a campaign as if they're losing. They cannot get into this. We're a juggernaut, Trump Vance.
Yeah.
We're a juggernaut. Don't worry.
100%.
Maybe a foot on the gas.
Cannot do that. So,
and speaking of possible running mates, again, I mentioned Hillary Clinton as a possible. She's been floated for some time now.
No,
nah,
she endorsed her.
Of course, she endorsed her.
Hillary Clinton brings her nothing. She's going to pick if she's the nominee. If it's not either Shapiro or someone from Wisconsin, what's her name? Baldwin from Wisconsin, I believe.
Yeah, she's up.
Those
5.
are the only, or Bashir, and Bashir really, to me, would be third. Then they've lost the plot.
Well, it can't be Shapiro.
Why
It's as
can't it be
simple as
Shapiro?
that. Because his last name is Shapiro.
Yeah, well,
the pro-Palestinian wing of the Democratic Party will have none of that. You think they're already set to march on Chicago when they pull in there for their DNC convention. You can imagine how much worse it's going to be if she picks him as a running mate.
Good point.
The anti-Semitism in the Democratic Party right now, they don't want to emphasize that. So I don't think that's going to be the pick.
I don't think you're wrong, but I don't know that
it's got to be a powerhouse.
I mean, she's got to pick somebody from a state she needs to win. I mean, given the circumstance they're in.
But it can't be a powerhouse that's more of a powerhouse than she is. It's got to be somebody who's...
Everybody's more of a powerhouse.
Exactly. That's the problem.
I don't think she's going to be at the top of the ticket.
And I think if anything, all these, the Whitmers and the Gavins, they're all running the other direction. Like, nope, I don't want to be a part of this this dumpster fire.
Whitmer said she won't take the VP slot.
She won't take it.
And Tammy Baldwin is not. She's nothing. She's into local politics in Wisconsin.
Now the other big news of the day, of course, is the House Oversight Committee grilling Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle for nearly 5 hours over the July 13th attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Cheadle faced repeated calls for her resignation or termination that crossed party lines but remained steadfast in her refusal to step aside. Members accused Cheadle of incompetence and questioned the decision to allow Trump on stage after the agency became aware of a suspicious person who turned out to be the shooter. Cheadle repeatedly admitted the agency failed in its core mission, but evaded many questions, citing, you guessed it, an ongoing investigation. Some of the highlights, we have a bunch of them. Let's play a couple right here. Here's Representative Fallon talking about, of course, the failure of one Kim Cheadle. This is cut number 4. Check this out.
So these are nothing but pathetic excuses, and they make no sense, and they're a bunch of cow dung. All the law enforcement I've spoken with over the last 9 days are amazed that the AGR rooftop was not secure. And you want to know why? Because it's dangerous. I have never had any long gun training in my life. I own an AR-15, and last time I shot it one time my whole life. It was 6 years ago. That is until Saturday, where we recreated the events in Savoy, Texas. We recreated what happened in Butler. I was lying prone on a sloped roof at 130 yards at 6:30 at night. And I knew that he had a scope. I didn't know what kind, red dot or magnified. So I shot 8 rounds from both. You know what the result was? 15 out of 16 kill shots. And the one I missed would have hit the president's ear. That's a 94% success rate. And that shooter was a better shot than me. It is a miracle President Trump wasn't killed. Corey Compagnore's life is over because that damn shooter made it on the roof. And it wasn't the roof that was dangerous. It was a nut job on top of the roof. You know what else is dangerous? I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful. And you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Yeah.
He was very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to say, we now know the line for the Democrats to give a crap about and bring something to the table. It's an assassination attempt on a former president. Because there was actually Democrats today in this hearing that actually came prepared to ask real questions and demand real answers, which they obviously never do. Now, there were some who just wanted to sit there and talk about gun control. Just embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But, I mean, can't believe I'm going to say this. Even AOC was better prepared and more direct with her than some Republicans were in this hearing. And I wouldn't, again, this is has to be the most corrupt and worst testimony from a high-ranking official, congressional testimony, that I've ever seen in my life, bar none. I can't think of one that comes close. It was so infuriating.
And she was defiant.
Arrogant, defiant, embarrassing. I saw someone say that someone should just hold her in contempt and have the sergeant at arms take her into custody. Yeah. That's how much of a disgrace she was. And she was challenged a couple times, which was good to see, but not enough. She was able to get away with these lame excuses too many times.
Yeah, of course, one of the big ones was Nancy Mace taking on Kim Cheadle. Here she is with her big statements of the day. This is cut number 6, Nancy Mace.
Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Okay. Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
No.
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been
yes or no. You didn't want to answer the question. Committee. We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Come on.
Well,
wow, come on.
That's so, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Chairman. Do you remember Nancy Mace voted to hold Steve Bannon in contempt when you think how great she is when she shows up on one day for 5 minutes? All right, what's going on? What's going on, Patrick? Good point, Big D. Yeah, I mean, all right, yeah, she was good for 5 minutes today, but Damon, you are delusional. We have seen this playbook before. Cheadle resigns, gets full retirement benefits, and then they drag it out. So how does that make me delusional? What did I say that's delusional?
I spent a lot of time around Nancy Mace. She could be good on a lot of things. Swears like a truck driver.
What would be those things?
Well, she was
certainly not her voting record on
I know
legislation.
Well, she's been a huge surrogate for Trump, and she, really helped him in South Carolina a lot. I was with her at the Republican convention. She was on a tear. But I get it. I agree, to a degree. And she's pro-choice. So, right? There's things I don't agree with her on.
I mean, I think she's a disaster.
She's in a Democratic 1st Congressional District in Charleston, so I don't know if she plays
I think that's why she has an F rating over at the Conservative Review, Liberty Score at Conservative Review. Tells you all you need to know.
But Trump endorsed her?
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, well, I don't know what that says. His endorsements are not necessarily what I would peg as his strongest suit.
Well, I think it was payback for her loyalty in the primaries. I got to keep my hands off the top of this computer. Jesus.
And a volume down.
That's a flaw. I might return this thing.
Hello, Tracy on Facebook.
After you downloaded all your information on it, so somebody else could hack your shit.
Oh my God. Can't hack it.
It's a good idea. You should do that.
I'm gonna. Can't get any worse.
Oh, you might end up with
you have more.
OnlyFans.
You have more right now.
If you want it.
Oh, actually, what is this? This is 4. All right, let's do David Zier, then sports. Then I'll get back to you at the top.
Gotcha.
Remember, we have a guest in the second hour.
Oh, we do?
Whoa, we got a guest. Nice.
Do you have the Tampa Bay Ray story with the guy getting the hit and then doing the fight thing?
No,
I have the video. I didn't want to step on you.
Go step right on me, baby. Roll it.
What was that, Hall? I forgot the name of the player.
I have no idea. I don't know.
There are a bunch of...
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. We'll get back to Rick Delgado's news here in a little bit. We're going to do some sports with Slick coming up, but let's do some news right now with the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. Saturday mornings. And that, of course, is David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Well, really quick, cut number 15, the Tampa Bay Devil Ray. I guess they're just called the Rays now.
Yep.
Got a hit and gave the fight symbol for Trump. And Rick told me that there was other compilations of other players doing this, but let's just check out.
Good for them.
Cut number 15 quick.
Two-base hit for Taylor Walls, and now he's in scoring position.
That's a fight. And then leave it to Congressman Crockett. What a crock at cut number 16 at the hearings today. She was just in rare form.
But, I want to stick here for just a second, because earlier you had a conversation in which there was a discussion about training. And I want to talk about training, and I want to talk about the fact that there's been a little bit of dancing around as it relates to this being a suspicious person and this being a situation that was perceived to be a threat. And it seems as if there's a different analysis that takes place. One of my questions has to do with if you have any bias training that your officers undergo. And the reason that I ask that, because as a civil rights lawyer, I have learned so many times in having to deal with law enforcement that there usually is not a perception of a threat when it is a young white male, even if they are carrying a long gun. Yet a lot of times, at least in this country, when it comes to law enforcement, there is a perceived threat just by somebody having a little bit more melanin in their skin. So I'm curious to know, because a lot of times one of the things that we have consistently pushed for.
So except for almost every mass shooting in a church or a school was done by a 20-year-old white kid. All right. So you say Kamala, I say Kamala.
Kamala.
Kamala. Cut number 17. There's a big debate going on out there.
And I've heard from inside Republican circles and right-wing media that the hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You'll notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose. Racism. But the talk is to start that hate campaign and get it going and start it churning.
And don't forget cut number 13.
Can we just before we get to that cut, can we just talk about what passes as TV on MSNBC? I guess Joe wasn't there this morning or something?
It gets worse, damn it.
Mispronouncing her name is somehow hate speech?
Yeah.
towards the vice president.
I've heard it announced.
Kamala Harris. That's not how you pronounce it.
I've heard
Kamala?
I've heard it announced both ways for the whole time we've been aware of her existence. And
Biden
now,
says it different every time he says it.
He does.
Yeah, I don't always
says that
hear
broad over there?
Kamala. I hear Kamala on the news and stuff, right?
In that outfit.
What did Montel call her? Do we know? That would be the definitive.
Montel Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he called her, yo, baby.
So it gets worse. Joy Reid, cut number 13. Always blame the white people.
Note that it is black and brown Democrats who are opposing this push out. I think there's one African-American Democrat.
Well,
no, I mean, I can't take her. I just can't listen to her nonsense. She's a race baiter. She's disgusting, and she shouldn't have airtime to go on there and say these things. I mean, it's just appalling.
It gets worse.
What's going on at MSNBC?
Yep, it's really brutal.
Did you hear Joe Scarborough today, by the way, on the phone?
Yeah.
Trump has never seen anything like this before. This is a guy who just got shot on stage. 7 seconds later, stood up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." Joe Scarborough this morning.
Yeah.
He's scared of Kamala. He's scared of Kamala?
He's on crack.
No, it's Kamala.
Kamala.
He's scared of Kamala?
Right.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, so I have a list of multiple polls today. Trump is an average against Harris, I think, by a +4 as a conglomerate average out there. And I just want to pull up 2 more clips. I'm going to aggravate you a little more. We have today's clip on The View. You know, that's always fun for the whole family. Cut number 18, our daily dose of The View.
I'm going to ask you this. There have been calls on the right, including from Speaker Johnson and Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance, for President Biden to resign immediately. They say if he's unfit to run for 4 months from now, he's unfit to lead until then. So is there any merit to that? And do you expect those calls to gain steam?
It is so ridiculous. Listen, they should be calling on their nominee a convicted felon, a rambling, incoherent guy who wants to be a dictator on day one.
That's so lame. This doesn't even fly anymore.
They should call on him to step down. And every pundit out there who has been hounding us for the last 3 weeks about Joe Biden, they should be hounding every Republican to call on Donald Trump to step down as their nominee.
The clapping seals clapping for absolute nothing, nonsense. Stupid question, too, by the way. So you get asked stupid questions, you get stupid answers.
Stupid people.
Yep. I wanted to just play this this lonely descent down the stairs of the airplane. Netanyahu, cut number 19 in D.C. No President Biden, no Vice President Harris to welcome Netanyahu, whose country is under siege. Somebody died in a drone strike from Yemen the other day. And in Tel Aviv, 2 soldiers, I think, were killed today in Israel. And this is the greeting he gets, a bunch of nobodies. So, Damon, I have excerpts from my Roger Stone interview, 4 Giada blow at the RNC, and more for you in the next hour.
All right, very good, David Zier. I mean, but you see the media. This is why you detest the media. You already see what's going on. You see the reframing of all of this. Now, Jayapal and all of them are all culpable in where we are right now in this with the Democrat Party and Joe Biden.
100%.
They've all covered it up. They all have clearly known that he is incapacitated. They've all lied about it. They've lied about it on shows. And then they go on and they get a question like that from this moron who's asking about whether it's right to call for Biden to step down. Now, my own personal opinion, I don't think the Republicans should push too hard on this because I think it would actually benefit them if Joe actually stepped down and she went in there. She wouldn't have to do anything. She could fire some people, hire some people, do some things, look like she actually is doing something. And so look at me. See, I'm pretty good at this. I'm not going to run as an incumbent. I don't think the Republicans should push too hard on that. Let doofus brains continue on and let her try to run we know how she runs campaigns. I have the same amount of delegates as she does. So we know she doesn't connect with people. People don't like her in her own party. They had a chance to show that. They have shown that. If they all liked her, she would have done better. She hasn't. But like questions like that are just, this is why you detest the media. Why don't you ask her, hey, how long have you known that the president's in this shape? Were you surprised he stepped down? When's the last time you've had any conversation with him? When's the last time you interacted with him? Did he seem okay? But no. Oh, do you think this has any legs, calling for Biden to step down? And then she just goes on her stupid TDS Trump rant. But this is what you're going to get. If you talk about Kamala Harris, you mispronounce her name, you're a sexist, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're a misogynist, everything, because they have a transformational leader now that supposedly is going to be at the top of their ticket. Meanwhile, nobody knows where the president of the United States is, who's making the decisions, what's going on. We already didn't know what was happening from after 4 p.m. and before 10 a.m. Now we don't know what's going on at all. And the Democrats don't have primaries anymore. They don't believe it. But don't worry about democracy, because it's going to be it's Trump that's democracy's under attack from. And this is what it's going to be like going forward. Every day, all day in left-wing media. All right, hour 2, more news at Delgado coming up right after this.
Find it now.
Joey Chestnut's competition.
So, Fran, who do we have? We have McCullough tonight?
Yes.
Today?
Okay.
And a Birch Gold Reed as well.
What is it? College. But I thought I heard. Pretty sure it's there. Somewhere. Somebody has to have it.
Let me hear a little audio here.
And I would have waited for 15. They could have said, let's wait for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, something. Nobody said, I think that was a mistake. The Secret Service, they call them snipers, but he was, world-class shot. I guess he didn't want to take the shot. I can understand that one a little bit, because maybe he didn't see, maybe he doesn't know. You don't want to shoot somebody if the person's not going to be carrying a gun. I don't know if they had a gun. They had a policeman that actually saw the man with a gun, and you would have thought that that would have been conveyed to other people. So there were some mistakes. But I can tell you this, just to go on the more positive side, the people on the stage were unbelievable and brave. They were all Secret Service that came running up, and they were running past bullets. Bullets were, when I went down, bullets were coming over my head, and you hear them. It's like a zip, zip. So I'm lucky I went down fast, but I don't even consider that the lucky part. I consider the lucky part turning exactly right in the one position where
the bottom part of that stage, the
get
flag,
hit here, but you're not going to get
armor.
hit.
So when he goes down, he's protected.
What that is.
That's
Senator,
why he goes
the FBI
down.
They did a good job. The people that are on the stage, I thought they were
Yeah.
fantastic. People that criticize the young girls.
I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, they're brave. I get it. But someone today questioned the line of questioning that I thought was right on the money. How do you stand him up? We said this Monday. How do you stand him up?
Yeah.
You do not know.
And he wasn't covered.
If there's someone else shooting, you stand him up. You leave him there for over a minute. How does it take them over a minute to get him off that stage? Pick him up and move him if you have to.
Yeah.
The idea, though, that he went to that stage is
unconscionable.
Cannot be
stupefying. It's unconscionable that they let him go.
Cannot be defended. If you thought this was an inside job, that testimony today did not take you off that position. It actually confirmed that position.
It raises conspiracy theories.
It was so bad.
No question.
I'm talking to special forces guys and snipers on the ground that were at Butler rally.
Hour 2, live from Studio 6B, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. David Zier's got some more clips and news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Dr. Peter McCullough is going to join us at 9:30. Great night to have him on. We could talk about Joe Biden's 10 doses of Paxlovid and COVID and all of that's good stuff. So we'll talk to him about that. Ed Whalen, who is at National Review Online, I guess, brings up a point I didn't think about. He says if Biden resigned, Kamala Harris became the president, Dems would lose her VP tie-breaking vote in the Senate. New VP selected by Harris couldn't take office until after majority vote of both houses of Congress. Not clear that the House approval would ever happen, but it would surely take a while. When Gerald Ford replaced Richard Nixon in 1974, Congress took 4 months to approve Ford's nomination of Nelson Rockefeller as his VP. In 1973, Congress approved Nixon's nomination of Ford as VP, replacing Agnew in just under 2 months. So, I mean, at this point, I don't think there's any votes coming up that the VP's tiebreaker would totally matter, but I guess that's something to keep in mind when you think through all of this stuff as well. So, Jesse Waters had President Trump on tonight with J.D. Vance in an exclusive interview, and we just played a little of it during the commercial breaks. Again, if you're not following us on our social media, we're live during our commercial breaks. You get some stuff behind the scenes at LFS6B on X, YouTube, Kick, Rumble, Twitter, or X, I guess I said, same thing. So follow us there. And he was asked about the Secret Service's performance, and he says, you know, if someone had come to me and said, hey, we need to delay this 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, he said, I would have been fine with that. Nobody ever brought it up to him. And after listening to the Secret Service director today, who was embarrassing and infuriating and arrogant,
yeah,
and as Nancy May said, full of BS the whole day.
Total.
But the little that we did get in the timeline that Congress people laid out, how somebody did not communicate with his direct detail that's with him and ask him to delay coming out until this kid could have been found, who was on their radar, who had a rangefinder, who was then seen on the roof. Even if you didn't see the gun, you saw him on the roof. That was communicated to local officials in the area. Now we hear from her that there's no recordings of the communication channels.
Come on, stop.
I mean, come on. Stop is right. Are you kidding me? I mean, this just stinks to high heaven.
Yeah. It's the same modus of operandi that they used for January 6th. All of a sudden, we need all the recordings from all the messages from your Secret Service.
There are none.
That was going on. Oh, what? You did a reset? You did a swap out of everyone's device, and all those messages were gone?
Yeah,
and
we
you did it on January 6th?
We bleach bitted it. We talked to Hillary. She told us the best way to do it.
That's interesting. So don't believe anything coming out of the government. I think it's fairly safe to say she's lying.
I mean, it's just crazy. The idea that somebody didn't, it's just unbelievable. It's just not believable. It is not believable that someone didn't contact the people next to him, closest to him, in the car with him, and said, you have to hold him up. We have loose ends we have to tie up. It's just unbelievable. It's not believable that this went down like this.
Yeah. You know, we, on the road, I've noticed, and I've talked to people at many rallies since, say, December, that felt like it was a little bit more lax things.
At that rally?
Not just that rally, but in general.
Last few.
Like we talk about it on the road with other media, on the risers and stuff, that we felt like, because I love the Colorado security team. Those guys, all form of special force and stuff, protect Trump. But, it's like, I think it costs like $1 million a rally every time he has them.
I mean, they have a budget of $4 billion.
And they were great. But, we've been noticing that they were using less of them. People have been worried. People have been worried that there was, it wasn't the same, maybe. the level of alertness.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
All that.
No
So,
doubt. That's clear now.
Just an observation. I'm not saying, because I love the guys in the Secret Service are dedicated people, but there's been talk of people weren't comfortable.
Dan Bongino today you got to follow Bongino on this stuff because he really knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
Obviously, having been there, having served, he knows the inner workings. He knows a lot of people that I'm sure he's talking to. A couple things. He said after this testimony, first of all, Sean Davis at the Federalist said that was the worst, most arrogant, most smug, most detached from reality testimony I think I've ever seen. She belongs in prison. Bongino said, I don't think she will last a week. Her appearance on the Hill today was one of the worst by a high-ranking government official in modern history. She's lost any political cover from the Dems. And Biden and Harris don't need another distraction right now. She may not be the only resignation either. Stay tuned. So, I would tend to lean to what Bongino thinks on these things. He's probably hearing from, I'm assuming, people on the inside. But Sean Davis is right. I mean, that's the most arrogant, smug. I could think of other things to say, but I can't curse on the air. I could say it in the commercial break. I could not believe what I was listening to. To come there in that situation, 9 days out. She clearly perjured herself in front of Congress all day long today.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she gets away with it. She's the director of the Secret Service, and she's telling you that there's other people who know more than her 10 days after the former president was almost killed.
Not only that, we find out she still has not been to the site 9 days out.
Really?
Has not visited. She didn't
talk to them till like 72 hours after.
She didn't speak to any of the agents involved in the incident until 3 days later, 72 hours later.
Mm-hmm. No recordings. The slope proof argument, which is nonsense.
Joke.
I mean, it's again, if you're out there that this does not add up, that this was just some 20-year-old who decided this is what he was going to try to do. If you're in the camp that doesn't add up, that people are clearly lying and there's something else going on here, she did nothing but confirm your worst thoughts today. That's all she did.
The cover-up could be the massive security breach, So, this kid was from Butler. They don't announce the rallies. They don't know where they're going that far in advance.
5 days,
rallies.
she said they had.
Yeah, so, this kid's from Butler County. He's not far from there. It would be a real stretch to say that this was an inside job and he had a second shooter and all that. I'm not doubting it, and I think we have to wait. But I think it was a big screw up.
You don't have to go there, but let me rephrase it to you. Have you heard enough to rule any of that out?
No.
You give it a 0% chance?
I agree with
There's
you.
no way anybody could.
No.
I agree with you on that.
No way anybody could. Not even me.
Yeah, it's ugly and it's not transparent, no doubt.
And then this coming from Andy Biggs, who had his chance.
I saw him.
To question
he was good.
Kim Cheadle on the Hill today, cut number 8. Here he is asking a question that a lot of people have. Cut number 8.
Your agency has a no-fail mission, and on Saturday, July 13th, your agency spectacularly failed. The failure resulted in the death of Corey Comparator and serious injury to 2 other rally attendees, David Dutch and James Copenhaver, besides the injuries to President Trump. It is unfathomable that a 20-year-old on the radar of Secret Service and local law enforcement before President Trump went on stage was able to climb onto the roof of a building with a rifle and fire off multiple rounds before he was neutralized. Was Mr. Crooks acting alone?
Again, I would have to refer you to the FBI's investigation.
Was he just a lone gunman?
I would have to refer you to the FBI's investigation for motive.
Really getting down to the she's really providing transparency.
That was nothing compared. Questions on collection of evidence and stuff like that. I could almost see, why are you asking those questions? Because she's going to say, with a current investigation going on to the FBI, you have to defer to them. Yeah. So that doesn't even get under my skin as direct questions about things that she should be in, that she is in charge of, and things that she should know about the Secret Service that day. Those are the things that should infuriate you.
Right.
That she would not speak to.
Yeah. Here's cut number 9, more Andy Biggs. He's talking about the stonewalling and calls for a new committee to investigate this whole thing.
But here you got a guy scampering up the side of a building on top of a roof. It's identified to you, and you said you sent a team there, and you can't answer that. And this gets to one of my finer points, Mr. Chairman, if I can make it. And that is, we can have these kind of interview sessions, 5 minutes, everybody gets a kiss at the pig, 5 minutes, and she gets to stonewall us, not deliver answers. So we say, okay, we're going to put together a congressional committee, a blue ribbon committee. Same crap will happen. I am calling, and I'll support that, but I will tell you this, I am calling on the Speaker to give us and put together a truly independent commission of qualified former Secret Service agencies, presidential and VIP protective services people who can actually conduct this kind of investigation and give us real answers, because I don't think you're going to give us those answers. You should have come today ready to give us answers. I call upon you to resign today.
Yeah. So again, Representative Andy Biggs with his call for a special investigative committee to look into what happened at the Trump rally.
So I'm just seeing this post again, and I'm just seeing this post. I gotta actually look this up on whitehouse.gov and make sure it's real. July 22nd, which is, I believe, today, correct?
Yep.
Memorandum. This is on WH.gov, supposedly. Memorandum on the delegation of certain functions and authorities under the Rebuilding Economic Prosperity and Opportunity for Ukrainians Act. And it says, memorandum for the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Treasury. Delegation of certain functions and authorities under the Rebuilding Economic Prosperity and Opportunity for Ukrainians Act by the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including Section 301 of Title III, United States Code, I hereby order as follows. This is Biden. I hereby delegate to the Secretary of the Treasury the functions and authorities vested in the President by Sections 104A1 and 104A2A of the Rebuilding Economic Prosperity and Opportunity for Ukrainians Act. B, I hereby delegate to the Secretary of State, in consultation with the Secretary of the Treasury, the functions and authorities vested in the President by Sections 104, 104, 105, 105, and 105 A, B, C, D, and E of the Act. The delegations in this memorandum shall apply to any provisions of any future public laws that are the same or substantially the same as those provisions referenced in this memorandum. The Secretary of the Treasury is authorized and directed to publish this memorandum in the Federal Register. Signed, Joseph R. Biden. So presidential functions are being delegated to the Secretary of State and the Secretary of the Treasury tonight. The hell do you think that's about? Is that nothing?
I don't know, but I have a story here I was going to get to next. Representative Boebert calls for proof of life.
Yeah.
From President Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, they say he's going to return to the White House tomorrow, so really? Obviously that'll be the proof if we see him.
On a gurney, or?
I don't think so.
You're going to be,
it's going to be
shuffling along.
Well, they put out his schedule for tomorrow, and they've got things on his schedule, unlike today.
Oh, boy.
So that'll put all that to bed if we see him. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Down with Joe.
No you have a read here.
No way they run, huh? No way.
President arrives in Dover, Delaware, Dover Air Force Base, 1:15. Certainly there'll be cameras there. 1:25, the president departs Dover, Delaware, en route to Joint Base Andrews. 2 o'clock, president arrives at Joint Base Andrews. 2:10, the president departs Joint Base Andrews en route to the White House. So 1:15 to 2:15 will be an hour of him moving. So we'll see.
By wheels or by feet?
Well, by a lot of stuff. See Ro Khanna with her today?
Yeah.
Asking her about what do you call it? Stuart Reagan's guy?
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh yeah, he stayed on." He was like, no, he resigned." Didn't even know.
Bye.
I'm sorry, what am I doing here, Fran? I have a read?
Birch Gold read, yeah.
Oh boy. Let me find it. Okay. Got it. What's going on in the chat? How many likes are we up to on
everybody hates us.
Oh, the YouTube?
Oh, so it's normal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
357, 820
357
watching.
is pretty good.
Or better.
That's an improvement.
Closing in on 1,000 on Rumble.
Like to see half at least, 50% thumbs up.
Look at that. Yeah, 813. That's up. That's the highest I've seen.
I'll sound like the blues on a Monday. Let me talk to you about our friends over at Birch Gold. If you weren't following the news, massive hit to the U.S. dollar just came in June when Saudi Arabia did not renew its 50-year petrodollar deal with the U.S. Since 1974, Saudi Arabia has solely sold oil in U.S. dollars. And that was huge to our global economic dominance. Now they want options other than the U.S. dollar. So I ask you, if there's less demand for the dollar, what happens to the dollar? Well, it's reasons like this that Americans turn to Birch Gold. For over 20 years, Birch Gold has helped tens of thousands of Americans protect their savings by converting an IRA or 401k into an IRA into physical gold. If you want to learn more, text the word America to 989898 and claim your free information, no obligation kit on gold. Text America to number 989898. Birch Gold has earned trust with their education-first approach, their thousands of happy customers, countless 5-star reviews. Protect your savings with gold. Do it today before the dollar plunges any further. Text the word America and send it to 989898. Do it today. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use if you're going to shop at MyPillow. Well, you know, pretty soon we'll be into, I can't believe it. Summer. I want to keep the summer here, but man, pretty soon. People start shopping at MyPillow, thinking about the holidays, birthdays, whatever it is. Use code LFS6B. We appreciate when you do. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, a huge golf tournament over the weekend wrapped up.
Well, that would be the British Open. Yeah.
That would be one of the biggest of all time, right? Xander, the great Schauffele, wins the British Open for his second major this year. Doug Ferguson, AP report from Troon, Scotland. Xander Schauffele went from the most nerve-wracking putt of his career to the coolest walk toward an 18th green he ever imagined. He won a nail-biter at the PGA Championship in May. He delivered a masterpiece Sunday in the British Open. 2 different finishes, 2 different feelings, 1 major conclusion. Schauffele has more than enough game and all the confidence in the world to win the biggest championships. Questioned at the start of the season whether he could win a major. He now has won 2 of them. Schauffele closed with a 6-under 65 with a final round that ranks among the most memorable in British Open history, particularly the 31 on the back 9. It matched the best score of the week at Royal Troon with nothing less than the claret jug riding on the outcome. He played bogey-free in a daunting win and turned a 2-shot deficit into a 2-shot victory for his second major of the year. It also gave the Americans a sweep of the 4 majors for the first time since way back in 1982. It's a dream come true to win 2 majors in 1 year, Schauffele said. It took me forever just to win one, and to have 2 now is really something else. So that was great stuff yesterday, Big D. Did you get a chance to catch that?
I did. It was great. It was great to see Scotty Scheffler hit a tee shot like me off of the I forget what hole it was, but it didn't even make the ladies' tee. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if he was hurt or he pulled his back or something, but it's nice to know that they're all like us sometimes. On the course,
1 or 2 strokes.
Once a season, they find one swing like we swing every time.
They pull out one of those.
I seen you swing.
Not too often.
I seen you swing. I know you swing.
All right, exactly. Well, the rubber met the road, Big D. It was a nationally televised NHRA, National Hot Rod Northwest Nationals over the weekend, wrapped up yesterday. Of course, the great Steve Torrance took the top fuel. Funny car went to Austin Prock. Pro Stock was Jeg Coughlin Jr. Chase Von Sant took the Pro Stock motorcycle. Top Alcohol Dragster, Cassie Grizel. Madison Gordon took Top Alcohol Funny Car. And Ryan Water, Competition Eliminator. Brad Burton, Super Stock. NHRA winding down. Got a couple of more weeks, and we'll be in the finals, Big D, at the In-N-Out Burger finals coming up. So we'll definitely want to catch that. And I'll give you a couple of quick scores in my next sports segment. That's a wrap in sports for now, Big D. Back to you.
All right. I'm seeing some reporting on social media tonight that they're making the calls. Kamala Harris has secured enough delegates to become the Democrat presumptive nominee for president. So that's the reporting tonight. I guess when they get to the convention, I guess they're making the calls and seeing where the delegates, well, really, I guess where the super delegates, because those are really the only ones that I guess matter, right, in the end?
Yes and no. I mean, they do have the opportunity to swing support with the superdelegates. Yeah. So we'll see. But according to the FEC, there could be a money problem, believe it or not. I don't know if you heard about this. We thought it was something where as long as Kamala's on the ticket, she would have access to the money. And according to the FEC chairman, Sean Cooksey, not so fast. He says it's really complicated is a short answer to it. He told NPR, I mean, we have to take a step back, consider the situation. This is really unprecedented in terms of modern political history, certainly in terms of campaign finance law. We have a presidential nominee or presumptive nominee dropping out just weeks before the convention. What he's attempting to do is give his entire committee the cash and all the assets over to another person. I think that's going to have to go through a process, he said. I expect there's probably going to be challenges to that at the agency and probably in the courts as well. So they could run into a problem accessing all that money, but the other side is saying the Democrats are just going to do it and deal with the repercussions afterwards.
She raised $85 million in 24 hours. She's got Reid Hoffman on board. They're not going to have money problems.
They're writing the checks, Big D.
They're not going to have. I mean, they may be tied up with whatever they've got in the kitty for Biden Harris, but I can't imagine she's going to have money problems. I wouldn't think.
Well, we'll see about. And again, this is just speaking about the money that's already there, the 95 or 100 million,
right? That
is in the Biden war chest.
They've doubled that in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Benny Johnson also reporting tonight, breaking Kamala Harris officially becomes the Democrat Party's presumptive nominee after securing support from enough delegates. So,
Isn't that amazing? A person who couldn't get to the first primary, just a few years ago, has now has used democracy.
Owes none of it to the voters. The voters, the voters on the Democrat side, have had nothing to do with her meteoric rise.
It's all about donations. It's the money people.
We've all here won as many delegates as she has, and we've never run for anything. Really quite amazing from the party that talks about democracy. Their candidate for president has never even won a pledged delegate ever in all the time she's run. She's done nothing to prove that she would be the best candidate if this was, again, remember something. If they didn't walk themselves into their own, if they didn't schedule this debate and walk into this trap of having him debate before the convention, he would be the nominee. There's not a single person in the world who believes that if Biden had said from the get-go, I'm going to be a one-term president, I'm too old, I'm not going to run, I'm going to do 4 years and that's it, and we all knew that, and they actually had a real primary, nobody thinks that she would be the one to come out of that. Because she wouldn't have been. She would never have been the nominee. And if they hadn't had that debate when they had it, and they couldn't hide it and justify him anymore, he would be the nominee going to the convention and then doing the first debate after the convention like we've always had.
Yeah. The debate was the coup.
Well, it was their green light to start the coup. And there's reporting on that, by the way, in the New York Post tonight. Top Dems threatened to forcibly remove Biden from office unless he dropped out. Set him up to fail at the Trump debate. This is by Isabel Vincent tonight.
Hey, isn't that what we were saying, Slick, that they were going to force them out?
Yeah, just like that.
Well, this is just someone's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
opinions are like elbows.
Yeah. Our opinion is we won that bet.
Well, that's fine. And
most of the chat, too.
Most of the chat?
Oh, yeah. The chat's fired up. They think that, you're welching on us with this bet. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, get on there, Big D. Get her.
Well, I'm going to go look at that right now. I can't believe that.
Come on.
I can't believe you're going to go look at the chat.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Peter McCullough, Dr. Peter McCullough will join us when we get back.
Yep, it's pizza every night now, Joanne, Ohio. Joanne, Ohio, pizza every night.
Night is pizza night.
I like that one. I'll settle for that.
Or at least maybe we could do
good question. Let me
It'll
go
be
look
like
here.
400 pounds.
Wild Wing Wednesday and maybe
Wingding Wednesday.
Wingding Wednesday and what is it?
Wingding Wednesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Turkey Thursdays. Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah, I don't want to get you can do that. I don't want to take
Moussaka Mondays. We'll get Greek. I'm going to get you Moussaka. Wasn't that a Spike Lee movie? No idea. No, wrong movie.
By the way, you got to see the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. It's better than the original.
Oh, yeah? Nick 387 is a big...
Better.
Really?
Much better.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Stop.
Yeah. It was incredible.
Axelrod.
Netflix put $150 million into it. It was awesome.
Really?
And everybody was in the first ones in this, but they're all 67 years old. It's really cool.
I don't think everybody.
Chat's
Few people
up,
died.
Payoff in tomahawk steaks.
Whatever. It was a great movie.
Damon the Welcher in Chief. Chemtrail. Oh, I like this one. Gone Gold. Chemtrail rocks over weasels.
If you're watching on YouTube, go over to X.
If
you're watching on, what else are we going to kill right now? YouTube and Facebook, head over to X at LFS6B.
Back in heat and get her. Welch. Murgatroyd. Damon lost. It was the biggest, greatest loss ever. The world has never seen it. Murgatroyd.
Phenomenal loss.
It was phenomenal. Damon, come on, pay up.
The greatest loss